This lesson is on calculating simple interest. So calculating out simple interest, we're going to use the simple interest formula where I represents the interest earned or the money earned on whatever investment you have. You can also think of it as the amount of money the bank is paying you. The key when identifying which value goes in for I is to think about this word earned. Money earned is the simple interest, the amount of money that is earned on your investment. Principal, another words for principal would be amount of money invested or the amount of money borrowed. It's your starting amount. So if you're paying for a car loan and you borrow $6,000, that's going to go in for P. If you are making a small investment and you invest $700 in something, that is going to be as your principal amount. The R is your interest rate. It's usually a percentage. So when you're trying to plug the values back into the equation, make sure you convert it to a decimal by dividing by 100. And time is for T. Time is always going to be measured in years. So if it's an amount that is not a year, let's say it's 6 months, make sure you divide by 12 or think of it as half a year and use 0.5 in place of T. If we look at an example, so a savings account is set up so that the simple interest earned on the investment is moved into a separate account at the end of each year. If an investment of $5,000 is invested at 4.5%, what is the total simple interest accumulated in the checking account after 2 years? So when we're looking at this, a lot of times people confuse this investment as being in for I, but the investment or the amount invested is actually your principal amount. So this $5,000 is going to go in for P. And then the rate is 4.5%. Make sure you convert that so that it's not a percent. So dividing this by 100 essentially moves the decimal 2 places to the left. So we're actually multiplying by 0.045 as the equivalent percentage. And then the time says after 2 years, so that's what we're going to put in for T. And we are solving to find the simple interest accumulated. Accumulated is another word for earned. So the money earned on your investment represents your interest. So we don't know I. We're going to solve for I. So to simplify this, we'll multiply each of these three. So 5,000 times our 4.5% times 2 years gets us $450. So the interest earned, or money earned in this case, is $450 on that investment. So this means after 2 years, the total money that you'll have is the $5,000 that you started with plus another $450. So $5,450 is the total amount that you'd have in this savings account after 2 years. Looking at another example, when invested at an annual interest rate of 6%, an account earned $180 of simple interest in 1 year. How much money was originally invested in the account? So this time if we think about the part we don't know, originally invested, that's telling us that we are solving for the principal, or P. So our unknown value is P, our principal. I, the interest earned, or the simple interest, look for that word earned. So money earned, 180, that's going to go in for I. We don't know P. Our rate is 6%. As a decimal, this would be 0.06. And our time is 1 year, so we'd multiply by 1. Simplifying this equation, we'd have 180 equals P times, and 0.06 times 1 is 0.06. So to solve for P, you simply divide both sides by 0.06, and you find that the principal, or the amount you started with, the amount you invested to begin with, comes out to be $3,000. So 180 divided by 0.06 comes out to be $3,000. And this makes sense. The amount of money you're investing is going to be more than the amount of money earned on that investment. One last example, again, using our simple interest equation, where I equals P times R times T. This one, Sylvia bought a 6-month $1,900 certificate of deposit. At the end of 6 months, she received $209 in simple interest. What rate of interest did the certificate pay? So we're trying to find that interest rate. This is our R. We don't know the R value. So plugging in for I, money earned. So she received 209. That's the amount of money earned. So 209 equals our principal, or the starting amount. The starting amount right here, $1,900. We don't know the rate, so we're solving for R. And the time is 6 months. So we don't want to put in 6 because, remember, time is always calculated in terms of 1 year. So 6 months, if you think of it as 6 divided by 12, is 1/2. So you're actually multiplying by 1/2, or 0.5 as an equivalent decimal. So now simplifying what is on the right, we have 209 equals 1,900 times 0.5, and that calculates out to be 950 times R. And if we want R by itself, you just divide both sides by 950, and our rate comes out to be 209 divided by 950 comes out to be 0.22. But remember, we want it back as a percentage. This 0.22 isn't a percent. We need to multiply by 100 to convert it back into a percentage. So the rate is 22% for this certificate of deposit.